What's up guys, Daniel here from Manchild. It's our first video from the man cave, so we're really excited about that. What we're going to talk to you about today is we're going to talk to you about the most popular, largest consumer drone. Well, not the largest, it's actually the smallest, but one of the biggest things to hit the drone market ever, okay? And it is the DJI Mavic. It is the smallest collapsible commercial drone. It's got everyone really excited, and it's allowing people to do things with their machines that wasn't really possible before. So we're going to show you a little bit about the Mavic today, with some beginner tips. If you've just got your Mavic home and you're just opening the box, hopefully some things you're going to learn today are going to help you out. So when I first got the Mavic, when it first arrived at my door, I was super excited. A few things that I was a little bit concerned about. When I first got it, I noticed that there was this rubber cover all over the housing of the gimbal, which is this thing right here. A lot of people have sort of wondered, do you fly that with it on? Do you take it off? I mean, you can fly with it on, definitely. And if you're a beginner, you know, and you're not really using the footage for anything, that's a really good idea to keep the gimbal cover on, because if you do have a problem, the gimbal is very fragile. So you can leave this on if you want to. The problem with leaving it on sometimes is it will expose your hunt, and it will try and autofocus if it picks up some of the glare off of the sun, because this picks up some of the glare off the sun, and sometimes the footage doesn't look great, especially if you want to keep the footage. But if you're just flying for practice or whatever, by all means leave that on. What I decided to do was I decided to get myself a new one. I got this off eBay. Yeah, it's basically it's the same kind of thing, so it protects the gimbal really well, but it just has the middle section cut out, so it doesn't get any of the glare from the sun or anything like that. So I thought that was a really good option. When I first got it out and I was like, right, okay, I want to get flying, I was really excited. The first thing that I did was I turned everything on, okay, and there was a clamp on the gimbal to stop the gimbal moving in transit. I didn't see that, right, but luckily enough on the DJI app it told me, take the gimbal off, you idiot. Okay, so I took the gimbal cover off, and then it was all good. But it does tell you that on the app, but just in case you need to remove that. The second thing was the props didn't come on the back, so they were on the front in the box, they weren't on the back. Now these are color coded. If you notice here, I'm going to hold it up for the camera. If you notice here, this one is black, okay, with a black top right here, and this one, it has white parts on the outside. Right, so they're pretty easy to sort out. Because they're counter-rotating blades, the black will always be opposite and whites will always be opposite. All right, because that's how the drone turns. We'll explain that in another video. But all you do, very simply, you place the prop on, twist it until it sits into the hole, push it down and twist it. Right, it's really simple, and then they'll lock in. So you need to put the props on the back. Once they're on the back, you can put it in the bag, you can leave them on if you want, or if you want to take them off, you can. It's entirely up to you. My SD card came inside the Mavic. I didn't need to put it in, but you're going to want to take it out at some point. So if you notice on the right hand side of the machine, there's a little cap here. So there's one on the other side as well, that's the USB port, right? But this one is my little cap, okay? So I can just push that down, okay, and it lifts up like so. You notice that the SD card, okay, it just pops in, and there's a little diagram on the side that shows you which way to pop it in, right? But you'll notice that there's a Wi-Fi and an RC switch under there. We'll talk about that in a minute, right? But that is where your SD card goes, right in there. 9 times out of 10, especially as time goes on and on, these are going to be sitting in someone's warehouse or sitting in DJI's warehouse. So firmware updates will be released while your machine is sitting in a warehouse. So when you get it, there's a good chance that it's going to ask you for a firmware update. The way I work, I wait till the firmware's been out there for a little while, make sure there's no problems or whatever. But if you go, oh, just want to update it and fly, you know there's no problems. The way that the Mavic works is the way that a lot of systems work, is called OTA updates. Okay, OTA is over-the-air updates, which means that the update is downloaded directly from the internet to your smartphone, transferred to the device, and the device unpacks the firmware and will upload itself. Other machines operate a little bit differently, but over-the-air updates are really easy. So all you need to do is just click on your firmware update, and it will unpack it, and it will download it, it will do everything itself. So you don't need to worry about that too much. But chances are you will see that firmware upgrade, and it's been a little bit intimidating because it's all in red, and if you're a newbie you might look at it and go, I don't like that, that's not right. But don't worry about it, it's very easy to do. Some people might want to fly the machine with their phone. Right? You can use the DJI Go 4 app to fly the machine on your phone, so the sticks are on the touchscreen. It's all preference. You know, if I was going to go up a mountain somewhere and I just wanted to get a selfie shot using the gesture mode, I might think to myself, I don't want to take the controller, I'll just take the Mavic and I use my phone. I've got my phone anyway. The way that you do that is you need to open the SD card hatch that was on the right hand side that we showed you a little bit earlier, and you'll notice that inside it says RC and it says Wi-Fi. First thing you need to do is flick that over to Wi-Fi. What that's going to do is it's going to change the frequency of the control uplink. So it's going to move it from 2.4, it's going to move it to 5.8. Now a lot of phones nowadays are dual band, so they'll see both frequencies. They'll see the 5.8 and they'll see the 2.4, but in order to operate the machine you need to move it across to Wi-Fi in order for your smartphone to talk to the machine and able to operate it. So that's what that switch is for. If you have no intention of flying with the phone, I personally have no intention of flying it with the phone, right, then what you need to do is just leave it on RC. Don't even worry about it, don't even touch it, okay? So you can leave it on RC and then it will always sync with the 2.4 controller and then you're all good. The next thing I want to do is I'm really eager to fly. Yeah, I want to get going, but I need to charge everything. All right, you must make sure you charge everything. DJI use intelligent stuff, so they will discharge by themselves to whatever you set them for. So you need to charge it. So I wanted to charge the controller. Now the port on the side is actually the charging port. Even though when you look inside, it doesn't look like a micro USB. It's a multiple port, so it will take various different functions. But you can use your micro USB to charge from that port. All right, so that is how you charge the controller. The batteries for the machine, you get a 240 volt wall charger for this. Very, very simple, just plugs in the top. Right, really, really simple. And the flashing lights on the top will give you the indication of the charge percentage. So obviously when they're all lit up, right, you're good to go. All right, it's fully charged. When it's finished charging, they'll turn off anyway. We want to connect our phone. Now, the one that mine came with was a lightning cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the lightning cable to my phone. I've got an iPhone 7 Plus, and it takes it okay. It seems like it's a little bit of a stretch. Like it doesn't feel like it will take anything larger than a 7 Plus. Sorry, an iPhone 7. But you know, it definitely won't take an iPad mini, right? It will take majority of phones. I don't think it will take much more than the Plus. There's a little slider on the side that I'm pretty sure is there to adjust for the size where your port is on your phone. For me, I just kind of clamp it in and then move that after I'm done to make sure it sits in there. One of the negative sides is it does make the home button on the phone quite difficult to access, but you know, you have to work around that. To turn all DJI products on, it's push once and then press and hold. So when I want to turn the controller on, I'm going to push once and then I'm going to push and hold until it turns on, and they give me a little verbal confirmation to let me know that it's on. Then I need to use the DJI Go 4 app. DJI have got two apps. They had the first app for the Inspire 1 and other machines that they've had for the previous Phantoms, and now they've launched a new one, which is DJI Go 4. Right, with the DJI Go 4 you can work the Phantom Pro, you can work the Inspire 2, the Mavic. It's for their newer machines. There's a lot of controversy about which you should turn on first. I'm an RC guy, I've been flying for a long time, and when we were back on 35 meg, we were always told turn your radio on first and then let the machine turn on after. So it's just force of habit, but some people don't care. Some people turn the machine on first. You know, it's whatever you feel comfortable doing. I personally always make sure this is initialized and then I turn this on. Intelligent battery, the pins go at the front, click, like so. Again, push once, push and hold, the lights will go up the top, and then it's going to give you a verbal confirmation that it's all turned on. The ESCs are initializing, so you can see the props moving, and then what will happen is I will then get the camera image appear on my smartphone. You also get loads and loads of information appearing on the controller as well. Really, really useful information like the motor RPM, the speed of the machine, battery weight, height, distance. So you can actually fly the Mavic without your phone. You don't even need to have it. Personally, I wouldn't. You know, I don't, unless you're out there practicing or just having a bit of a laugh or showing your mates or whatever. I don't see the point in it. But because you always want to see what you're filming. But you are capable to do, and it's pretty cool to know that. Unless you have quite a large space to fly indoors, for your first flight, don't do it. Yeah, seriously. Take it outside. Wait till the indication on the top left-hand corner goes green and it says GPS ready. It will tell you that because it will say the home point has been updated. And what that is, right, is it's marking where it's taken off from. Once it's marked where it's taken off from, it's got GPS, this goes green, right, and we're good to go. When it hasn't got that, it's utilizing the indoor sensors, the dual channel indoor, like the optical flow, like the IPS indoor positioning system of other machines, but this is crazy, crazy good. The reason I wouldn't fly this drone indoors for your first flight is because its movements are really slow, right? In that, when it's flying using the sensors, it slows everything down quite a lot, right? Not only, it's talking to me, see, it's agreeing. Not only that, you want to make sure you're comfortable on sticks, all right? You're comfortable with mode 2, mode 3, whatever you fly, all right? You want to make sure that you're comfortable before you take it to an area that there could potentially be a problem. When people have got a lot of experience, yeah, you can fly in more confined spaces. But when you first fly, get out in the middle of a field, have nothing to hit, and have some fun. Learn the machine. Last thing you want to do on your first flight is, wrong stick it, hit the wall, and then you've lasted one flight, and then you're sending it back for a repair. All right, so get out in the field and get GPS. Let it lock in. That's my advice anyway. Now, one thing you do need to be aware of is these batteries are intelligent. So they have a discharge, an automatic discharge. Lithium and polymer batteries, if you shouldn't leave them fully charged, because the activity within the cells is way too much, and it can diminish the life of the battery. Optimally, you want to store a battery around about 60%. That's what you want to store it at. Now, DJI have taken care of this for you, but what they've done is they've actually hidden it a little bit. If I go to my top selection at the top right here, I go down to my battery selection, it gives me the cells in the battery. Now, this is a 3-cell, 3830 milliwatt battery. Gives me around about 24 minutes flight time. They reckon up to 27 minutes while it's in flight, because they think it's more aerodynamic while it's flying. But once I'm in my batteries, you can see the charge of the cells. Oh, by the way, this battery's 43 watt hours, which means it's totally okay to take it on an aircraft. If your battery's above 99.9 watt hours, you can't take it on an aircraft. Below that, you're good. So you're fine with these batteries. You can take them on a plane. And you are allowed, check with your local airline. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure you're only allowed to carry 2 per person. So on this menu here, you can see the charge levels of each cell in the battery. Like I said, it's 3-cell, so you've got your 3 cells. If I scroll down to advanced settings, you'll notice that it says time to discharge. I've got 10 days. What that means, if I fully charge that battery, in 10 days time, it will go into storage. Okay, so it will discharge itself down to around about 60%. Why that's important to know is the last thing you want to do is go, oh, I've charged everything, I'll put it away, in 2 weeks, I'm going out for a fly. And you go out, you get out to the field, you turn everything on and go, oh, my battery's not working, I fully charged it, it's not working. That's why. You can adjust that, all right? So I can click on that, and I can adjust it to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all to 1 to 10 days, right? So I can change it to whatever I want. And again, that's entirely up to you, but keep in mind that they will discharge at some point. There's a couple of shortcuts that you might find quite interesting. Okay, if I scroll down, it gives me full screen. Scroll up and it brings all my telemetry file back again. If I scroll to the side, what that brings is it brings in a couple of shortcuts for me. Right, so I can activate different home points. So I can have my home point as this, or I can have my home point as where it took off from. So you can adjust different things like that. I can do different things with my gimbal, right? I can adjust my screen brightness up and down. So those little shortcuts are quite cool. Also, we're touchscreen focused, so I'm going to touch screen on this person. It's going to be rude then. This person right here, right? And what that's going to do is it's going to auto focus on that, right? So it is touchscreen focus. You can adjust that. You can turn it on or off. I mean, there's tons. We could sit here all day and go through the features, but we're going to do this video in stages. So on the comments below, please let us know what you want to see. You know, if there's something that I'm a bit scared of the anti-collision. I don't really want to try it. We'll try it for you. So give us some comments, and we'll try and get you what you guys want to see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head outside and we're going to go and show you some of the bits and pieces of the machine actually flying, and some things that's going to let you take off and land safely. So they've let me out of the man cave. I'm now out on one of our flying fields. So we're going to do some flying with the Mavic now, okay? Just to show you a few things of it flying and to give you some more tips. So like I said, when we were in the man cave, my controller and my phone have initialized. They're ready to go. So the next thing you need to do is turn the drone on, okay? So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to just head over there, okay? You get the classical DJI to let you know that it's on, and then possibly the sexiest voice in the world happens. when it has GPS. You do have to wait till it has GPS. Right, we have to listen for it. Ready? Oh, she didn't say anything. Why didn't she say anything? Oh, I was excited. It goes, the home point has been updated. Please check it on the map. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's worth buying the Mavic just to hear that. So you got everything's initialized, and the top left-hand corner says ready to go GPS, and it's green. All right, so it lets you know that everything's ready to go. Now to turn on a DJI and to get the props going, they're all pretty much the same startup process. It's the sticks to the bottom corners here, and you can hear that. Oh, there she is. Oh, so good. Once the motors are running at idle, I can then increase my throttle.
The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
There she is. There she is. Let's call her Sandra. So Sandra's told us that the home point's been updated, right? And we know that.
Okay, well, I'm just going to cut for a second because he just called this sexy voice Sandra, and that is my grandma's name.
They don't know about me and Sandra. They don't know about me and Sandra. I mean, Sandra is that tight, innit? So, the Mavic's up, yeah? As you can see, I'm talking to the camera. Max is screwing around, yeah? And I have pretty much, although I can see it, I haven't been worried about it. Through GPS, she's gonna sit there. She's all good. If you're a little bit old school, or you're left-handed, or for whatever reason you just like being different, you might fly mode 1 or mode 3. That's all customizable. You can change that. But I fly mode 2. I can fly mode 1, but I like to fly mode 2 when I'm flying. So what that does is it puts my throttle and my yaw on my left stick, and it puts what's called my side clicks, which is my bank left, bank right, bank forward, going backwards, all on my right stick. Okay, so combining those two stick movements together is the key, all right? But for starters, one of my top tips is what you can do. You can fly the machine on the yaw. So all I need to do is give it a forward input, and on my left stick, just give it a yaw, all right? And from that, you can fly around corners, and you can keep everything really like looking quite smooth actually, just by 2 stick inputs. Then as you get better and better, you want to try and combine the movements a little bit more and make for a little bit more advanced flying. Then what it is, it's about having some fun. So basically what I'll do is I'm going to bring the Mavic round. Woo! Okay, so I need to maintain VLOS. So I'm going to stand like this, visual line of sight, baby. So I'm going to see the drone, and I can talk to the camera as well. Right? Ideally, I should be standing, the machine should be here, but for the purpose of this, that's why I'm sort of head on a swivel. So you can see the Mavic. It's quite windy today actually. It's blowing probably sort of 10, 12 miles an hour maybe. It's gusty maybe 15, 16, and she's pretty good. Right? I am really impressed on how this thing flies in the wind. It does fly extremely well. Now this machine hasn't got an ATI mode, so you can't turn the GPS off with the Mavic. In fact, the only adjustments you've got is on the side where you have sport mode. And if you want to get some nice speed going, you need to put the sport mode on. You can see how it struggles to initiate, to maintain its altitude when the wind kicks up. And all that is the gusts. As the gusts come in, right, it's going to create a little bit more updraft. It's going to lift it up. The gust then dies, and then the machine sinks. So it's going to rise up and down when the wind's quite strong. But you can see, it's handling it really, really well. So again, I have my climb, descend, and then my side clicks, right, left, forward and backwards. Now, I recommend when you're beginning, right, give yourself a little bit of distance from it, like maybe 5 meters. Don't come any closer than 5 meters, that's be perfectly close enough, yeah? You don't need to come like knocking on your door with the thing. You need to keep the distance a little bit for safety reasons. Also, CAA, FAA, all these different aviation authorities, okay, I'm struggling there, right, have very, very similar rules. You can't fly over roads. You can't fly over congested areas, okay? Congested areas in the UK is deemed 1,000 people or more. So you need to know these things. Please research online, right? Please look at your local laws, right, onto what you can and can't do with the machine. But a lot of it, and I'm being quite honest with you, is common sense, right? Keep it away from people unless those people are under your control. They know what you're doing, all right? Then, things are a little bit different. If you want to make money from this industry, please research on how you do that, okay? In the UK, you have to go through your permissions for commercial operation. Other countries is different, so just research a little bit. Another top tip for you. Notice how I'm flying and giving you information. I'm like a, I was going to say a one-trick pony, but I'm the opposite of a one-trick pony. I am the drone god. Kneel before me. now it's a bit of having fun. I have my tilt here, okay? You can see me and my trusty sidekick is behind the camera, behind me, yeah? He's waving at you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna start recording. So on the top of the machine, you have start, stop, record, and you have your stills button. So I'm gonna start recording. An SD card is in the machine, so I know it's gonna record. And it lets me, it counts up on the side to let me know my status of my video recording. Now, what you can do as well, this is quite a cool tip for you, you can customize C1 and C2. Those are the buttons on the back. So the way I've customized them is I've got one of them which switches between my Google Maps and where I am, all right, and toggles between the two, between my camera image and my Google Maps, and the other one just gives me my battery percentage, so I can actually toggle up and see exactly what my battery's doing. One of the really nice things about DJI is you'll notice that on the top there's a countdown timer, okay? Mine says 15:48. That is my countdown to how much longer flight time I've got. And then you'll notice on the left is a bit in red and a bit in yellow and a little H. When the green section meets the yellow H, that is when it's time to come home. The further away you fly, the further that home point moves, so you have to come back earlier, right? But with the intelligent batteries, it calculates how long it's going to take you to get back. Now that is really cool. That's a really good function. The last thing we'll talk about is this little toggle right here. Now the Mavic has a 2x digital zoom, all right, a digital zoom. Now when you're using a digital zoom, there's a little bit of controversy about when you zoom in on a digital zoom, things look a little bit grayed out and it doesn't look quite as good. You know, if you're an amateur filmmaker or a hobbyist, you know, you don't care about those things. And it is a cool feature to have a digital zoom. But all I'm gonna do is move it to the side, all right? And then it zooms in. It's really important to mention that the digital zoom is not supported in 4K, right? So when you're filming in 4K, the digital zoom doesn't work. You need to be filming in 1080. It doesn't support digital zoom in 4K. That's one thing you need to know. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to show you the digital zoom in like a real life scenario. Is that right? Real life scenario, like a real world application. That's a better real world application. So we're going to stick Robin, my sidekick, right? Sidekick on the bike, and we're going to show you the digital zoom in action so you can see it, and then maybe you can check the footage out and you can make the assumption for yourself as to whether it's good or not. All right, so we're going to show you that right now. We've got my sidekick over there. He hates it when I call him that, so I'm going to keep calling him because it just annoys him. Right, but Mad Max is in the field, so we're going to take off now.
Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Oh, love it. Okay, here we go. Right, so we've got Max in shot now, so I'm going to start recording. Right, now, here we go, showing you the full zoom, coming in, and we are now fully zoomed in. So I'm going to tap on Max, just get my focus all sorted out. But you know, that's not bad, you know, I'm a fair distance away from him, and it looks all good at the moment. All right, so I'm just going to do a slow little manual orbit of him. Like so. Alright, now what we're going to do, just to show you the difference, alright, we're going to pull out on the zoom to show you the difference. Okay, so now we're at regular optics. There's my first battery warning. I've still got just under 5 minutes to go. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of that. Right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to ask Max to start rolling, coming back towards us. So we're fully zoomed in now. Okay, so we'll see. Get Max to go for a little burn around. my battery is set to land at 20%, okay? So battery critical is at 20%, so I'm nearly there now. So I'm just gonna talk about landing the machine. You need to get the machine to, you know, where you want it to be. You're gonna get down to roughly about half a meter off the ground, and you're gonna notice it won't come any lower. That's fine. If you keep the throttle pinned to the ground, okay, all of a sudden it will go into self-landing, right? And Sandra will tell you that the machine is landing. So once it's done that, you can even let go of the stick and the Mavic will land itself and shut itself down. But don't be surprised if you get to that half a meter and you're like, oh, it's not coming down, it's not coming down. Just kill the throttle, and after a little while, it's going to self-land and it will pull itself down, shut the props down, and then you're good to go. They are the real basics, all right? So when you got your Mavic home, if you've never flown a drone before, yeah, hopefully those tips are giving you something that you didn't know before, right? And you can get out with a little bit of confidence and start flying your Mavic and start, you know, really enjoying it, because it's, you know, it's phenomenal. It really is. If you want to know anything more, you know, if you have anything to go, I'd really like to know that, please let us know in the comment section. Just write down what you want us to know, want us to do, and we'll do our best to get it done. All right, guys? But I'm Dan from Manchild. Thanks for watching. See you next time. That's it for me at the Man Cave for today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll bust our hump to bring it to you. Thanks for watching.